So here is what happened in the opening race for the JMX-65. Swinging into this first corner downhill, it was Corda pulling a whole shot. The young Italian, a little bit crashes on the first corner there, but Daniel Corda jumping into an early lead. And starting to check out, the young Italian making good advantage of the clean track, launching up the hill, but he was soon going to come under pressure from the two Spanish riders. Pushing him hard, Gino Lised and then Aiden Quesada. Look at them together, almost side by side, coming up the two. The two Spaniards were fighting among themselves, but also the young Italian Corda, as he was battling to stay into the lead. But in the end, it was Quesada making a move. And then Gino Lised there, just toppling the front end when he was in contention to maybe go on and win the race, but that cost him. But meanwhile, a little bit further back, Lucas Boss was on the move, and he made a move mid-race past the Spaniard, Daniel Corda there, and worked his way up into second. And then came this race-winning move up the inside, making that move on Quesada to go into the lead. And there it is, an emphatic race win, and it showed when he crossed the line, taking the first race win. Here we go, race recap for the Junior World 65, race 2. And coming up the uphill start, flying round into the first corner, it was Bruno Gutierrez with the whole shot. One faller on the outside, but the young Latvian making the whole shot and getting the Fox board to his name as he led early on. But then Daniel Corda was making moves. He had a good first race, coming in third, and he could suddenly see the gold plate dangling in front of him, but the young Spaniard, Adan Quesada, making a power move up the inside to go into the lead. But then the first race winner, Lucas Boss, was not hanging around. He wanted to get this title done, and the two went at it for the lead. Boss moving into the lead, the French rider. Then this great battle further down the field. Jack Waters for Britain moving up through the field, but then he had a technical issue with his bike. It stopped up the steep hill. Then 141 crashed, Buring going out of it for the USA. Then there was more carnage further down the field, but the riders were both okay. But it was a 1-1 scorecard for Lucas Boss, bossing it. The two riders congratulating each other. Adam Quesada seemed happy enough with second place. So that was it, your junior world champion in the 65 class from France, Lucas Boss, and also helping out to just narrowly stretch out the points lead in the nations by 1 point. There he is collecting his gold plating. Incredible emotion from the young Frenchman. Well, there you go. This is what happened in the race 1 for the JMX 85 Junior World Championship. Coming into the first corner and grabbing the foxhole shot was Praktis Surlis. And he started to check out straight away, the young Latvian. There was a big pile-up in turn 2, taking down Harry Dell. Many riders having to deal with that. And then this battle just started to rage in the top 10. It was ongoing. Buchanan making moves as he went past number 700. Theo Colts making moves, started to check out. Then Landon Lee, number 14, was under pressure. Then came this move to push him into second place, plus past Martin Surilas. Then the race was on, but while he was chasing down the race leader, the battle outside the top 5 was just raging the whole time. 700, Theo Colts had everybody all over him. They were riding ragged. Here he nearly throws it down the track, nearly collected Tim Lopez with it, who nearly stalled his bike. Then Harry Dale from that second corner crash was on a charge. There he came through, making an aggressive move on Tim Lopez to push towards the top 5. Brennan here with a double pass, beautiful move as he pushed on late in the race, the young American on the Suzuki. Colts was under pressure by this time late in the race. Making moves there, Harry Dell, but this was it. This was the pass for the race win. Up the inside, Behannon making the race win, making the move with 2 laps to go, and as you can see, really pleased with that one. Here we go, race recap for the second race for the Junior World Motocross Champions 85cc class, and it was the French rider Matthias Agulio sweeping in tight on the inside, getting the Fox Hole Shot Award, and he started to look to check out ahead of Patrick Surlias in second, who could sniff a gold plate and world championship here in second place. He was trying to get the move done early, and he did exactly that as they powered up the hill, making a slingshot move round the outside to take the lead. He knew he had to get going. First race winner Blake Buchanan just getting caught up there, trying to make moves. It actually cost him a position as Vicari went by. Then he went past the whole shot winner Agulo, started to get his composure back as he was chasing down, but Vicari then had a spin up, he dropped positions, and then the race was on. Brennan started to make moves on the Suzuki just like he did in the first race, coming from a long ways back. He suddenly could sniff a podium position, but this was the deal. This got it done, sealed the deal as Blake Buchanan slung shot round the outside of Patrick Surlias to go in the lead. Then this battle for third really started to hot up. Brennan making moves past Tim Lopez, who then, they in turn caught Patrick Surlias, but he kind of had an idea. If he just kept it on 2 wheels, he could bring it in potentially with the silver medal. He looked tired, but he also backed it down a little bit. But no mistaking your world champion in the junior FIM 85cc category. 1-1, Blake Buchanan from Australia getting it done ahead of Patrick Surlias. Absolutely brilliant performance. And then Chase Brennan bringing home third. That was the championship nations positions after going into the final race. Incredible stuff in the Junior 85s. Welcome to the highlights for the first JMX 125 World Championship race here at Jinin. And getting a flying start. Sweeping round the outside was Riba. There was a big second turn pile-up, but the young Spaniard taking the early lead. But then Emil Zimmer putting pressure on early doors as they went up the hill. Further back was Ricardo Bauer. Emil Zimmer making a move on that switchback second to go into lead, but he was going to be closely followed by Ricardo Bauer as Ribber come under pressure here. Down the inside went Ricardo into second place, nearly almost missed a gear shift there, but then this battle shaped up with a clear track. He got to work on chasing down the race leader, Emil Zimmer. Meanwhile, further down the field, there was crashes going on. Another young Spaniard hitting the deck. But while that was happening, the top 2 started to get away. But this was the forceful move by Ricardo. Absolutely throwing it down the inside, the Austrian rider, hard on the brakes. Then we had rider Toto Ryan Oppeling crashing out on the first corner. But there it was, a well-earned race for Ricardo Bauer. Here now go away, hugs from his team. Rest well, eat up, get it done second moto. So the gate dropped in this final race for the 2026 edition, and it was Slene Goya pulling the whole shot for France, right where he needed to be, but in no time at all. Ricardo Bauer sneaking around the outside, putting himself in the driving seat to take the gold plate and the world crown. With a clear track, he started to check out as the young Frenchman tried to follow him, knowing that a solid result will get him on the podium as well. Emil Zipnier was a little bit further down the field after his second race. This battle raged the entire way through. It was absolutely brilliant between Torres and the young Spaniard. Then we had a bike issue there, and they continue to go at it. Riba pushing and pushing and pushing, make too much, making a little mistake, losing a few tenths there as he went off the track. No harm, no foul. Then we saw these two get together. Well, we didn't actually see that, I think, in real-time footage, but David Greco just getting there, colliding a little bit with Emil, but he managed to compose himself, get back going, and bring it in for the bronze place finish. But there it was, a race victory, 1-1. What a way to do it. Your FIM 2026 World 125 champion, Ricardo Bauer.
Zlaté pre nových svetových šampiónov.